just like, did I just completely just sleep through my IB exam? Hey guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, I want to tell you guys about this story, the time that I almost slept through my IB exam. But first, I want to give you guys some context. So, like many people do in their senior year of high school, they develop a case of what we like to call senioritis. And I happen to get this pretty bad. So all of a sudden, I noticed when senior year started, I just stopped caring. I just lost motivation to do homework, to really study as much. The only thing I really cared about was applying to college. It was the only thing that I was focused on, applying to college, going to interviews, doing all of those things. And especially once I got into college, everything, I stopped caring. I just thought that at the end of the day, that was the only thing that mattered. Once I got into school, no matter what happened in high school, I was good to go. So I really stopped studying for the IB exams once I got into school. And this whole mentality really derailed my senior year. My focus, my goal was getting into college. And once I knew that was good to go, I wasn't worried about any credits transferring, having any classes waived. All of those things didn't matter. My grades as a whole in these classes, aside from the IB exams, I completely stopped caring. Before I knew it, it came time for IB exams. This was technically the second round of IB exams because the first IB exam I took was the IB Spanish exam at the end of my junior year. For people who don't know, IB exams, at least when I completed IB, they were scored on a scale of 1 to 7. I got a 5, which means I passed the IB Spanish exam. I was ecstatic, I was through the roof. It kind of got to my head because I was super nervous for the Spanish exam. Part of that entailed speaking in Spanish with the instructor in a conversational manner. This was something I was super nervous for. Because I had passed the IB Spanish exam, I felt like I was invincible. Like all the exams were just gonna be easy. I didn't want to study too hard because I thought it was a waste of time, especially having senioritis. So I just wanted to hang out with my friends all the time and go to the gym. I was running track at the time also, and I was just focused on improving, working out, working on my speed, and all of those things. So that's why when I look back on it, the IB Spanish exam almost derailed me more than it helped me because it gave me that inflated ego to just think that no matter what, I could pass any exam. So fast forward, we're back to senior year. Exams are around the corner. Literally, it's like the day before this IB history exam that I have. So of course I'm with my friends. We had gone to the gym, we played basketball, lifted weights for a couple hours. Then we'd gone to IHOP. And again, mind you, this is the night before a huge exam, like the IB exam. And these exams are not cheap. For people who completed AP courses back when we were in high school, those exams might have been maybe $85 per exam. For all of the IB exams that I had to take, I believe it was like $1,000 or something, which means each exam, you're probably talking about $200 or so. But in my head, I was like, oh, my parents helped me pay for it. It wasn't my money. And so I'm at the gym. And so we go to the gym, we go to IHOP. I come back home at probably 2 in the morning. But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, like I'm fine. I'd heard the IB exam was during the third period. This time is, I'm thinking it's after the first lunch during third period, which is at 11 o'clock. It never even occurred to me to think, is the exam actually at 10:30 or is it at 11? And so I come back from the gym like 2 a.m., get to bed by like 2:30, And I'm still thinking I'm good. I'm thinking the exam's at 11, I can still sleep for 7 or 8 hours, wake up, get ready super quick, and then drive to school. Of course, what happens the next day is what really threw me for a loop, because I'm just sleeping, minding my own business, not hurting anybody, and all of a sudden, I hear this knock on the door. My mom says the school tried calling a few times. They're wondering where you are. My first thought is I'm just like, did I just completely sleep through my IB exam? But then I'm just like, no, the exam starts at 11 and maybe it was like 10 or something at this point. But my mom goes, yeah, they tried calling. So then I think about it and I'm like, no, maybe it started at the very beginning of third period. And actually this would have been about 10:40. So I'm like, oh shoot. So I literally jump out of bed, I brush my teeth super quickly, I just throw some clothes on, get in the car and just hurry over to school. Of course, safely, I would hope. I was kind of safe that day. At least I tell myself I was driving safe. Didn't run any stop signs, still stopped where I was supposed to, didn't speed, of course not. So I get to school, I sprint, I book it. The track definitely came in clutch for me and the conditioning, because now if I had to sprint up some stairs and sprint to a school like that, I don't know if I would have had it in me to actually take that exam. So I probably would have sweated everything out. I probably would have fainted on the table or something. But so fortunately I make it, and the lady tells me that if I would have been 2 minutes late from the time that I'd gotten there, I wouldn't have been able to take the exam at all. Hearing that, and from, of course, sprinting into the school, I'm just super panicked. So I sit down, I'm literally just taking the exam, trying to do what I can. And of course it was a hard exam. That was one of those exams where I definitely underestimated it, where I was like, oh, it shouldn't be that bad, it's just history, and it was hard. That ends up being a super hard exam. I come home at the end of the day not even knowing if I passed or how it went. The way things ended up going, I ended up not getting my IB diploma just because I had really just underestimated all of my exams and just not studied for any other ones. That was just such a huge lesson, because it taught me about how we can develop this invincible kind of complex where we feel like nothing can hurt us, like we're just invincible. And that day really showed me, looking back on it, that we're not invincible. When they say an exam starts at a certain time, you have to get there at a certain time. And it taught me to never underestimate any exam moving forward. If you have an exam, always try to put your best foot forward to do the best you can. To wrap things up, I know that everyone always says push through it, push yourself, and just get through it. But if I could go back, the advice I wish I would have gotten, I wish someone would have just brought up the ramifications that kind of cruising through school, your last year, the ramifications that exist for that kind of action. I didn't realize at the time that not getting my IB diploma, not passing that exam would lead to me not getting credits in college, therefore having to take certain elective courses that I wouldn't have needed to take. I just was so caught up in the present and how I didn't feel like studying and how studying was boring. The flip side to that is, well, if you study hard and you pass your exams, you can get credits towards classes in college, which means that you won't have to take certain classes, you maybe can graduate early, and or you can also just save money on tuition from not having to pay those classes or pay for those classes. And especially with how expensive college is nowadays, you can save a significant amount of money. And I think it's important to try to save as much money as you can when you're taking classes in college, especially if you have dreams of going to med school or dental school, that's going to add even more money onto what you're doing. If you really take IB seriously, you really put the time and the effort in, it has long-term gains in the sense that when you're actually taking classes in college, you know what an intense workload feels like. So you're not as stressed out and as overwhelmed as other people might be who didn't take IB courses. With all of those things being said, I want to thank you guys for riding with me to the end of the video. I'm looking forward to hearing any of you guys' stories in the comments below. If you guys liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.